Hi everyone, welcome back to Pop Cult X, your go-to for all things pop culture from our Gen X point of view. My name is Let me try that. My name is Danny. I think I'm Gen X, so who knows? And along with Gabriel, we're your hosts here. And this is episode 183, if you can believe it, Gabe. 183 episodes we've done.
Wow.
And we're still going strong, chugging our way to episode 200, where we'll have some special big bash planned for all of you out there. So feel free to like, subscribe, do all the social media stuff. Make sure you jump on board this crazy train that we got going.
Definitely.
And speaking of crazy train, you see how I did that? Some sad news out of the pop culture realm the past couple of days. If you've been following along, today we lost legend, icon, Ozzy Osbourne. May he rest in peace. And yeah, I might have a different outlook on his life and stuff than you do. So if you have any memories you'd like to share of Ozzy, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I think that I grew up listening to his music. My elder siblings were sort of into that sort of music, and so I grew up listening to it as well. And then like more recently, I watched his reality show, the Meet the Osbournes, and then just had a very affectionate feelings for him. I just think Ozzy's always been really cool. He was a really big ally for the LGBT community, which I think some people might be surprised to hear, but respect him for that a great deal. And I just think he was a great guy, really iconic in the music industry, and it's a big loss.
Absolutely. And I think when you said about the reality show, that's what really, sure, I knew of his music. I knew of his antics, the biting the head off a bat on stage. You hear those rumors in school, but I didn't really listen to his music that much. I didn't have an older sibling who really showed me that, kind of like you did. But when he splashed on the was it MTV, right? The Osbournes.
Yeah.
And we got to see a peek behind the curtain, I guess, if you will, of this rock and roll family. And that's what really drew me into more of the Ozzy Osbourne fanhood and his legacy. So for me, that's where I really took notice, was when the reality show came out. And I guess you could say he was kind of a pioneer for two different genres, both reality TV and for heavy metal in a way. So I mean, without the Osbournes, there's probably no Kardashians.
Yeah.
Right. So it's he
Should we
spurred
blame
that
him for
also.
that?
What's that?
I said, should we blame them for that?
I guess we can blame him for that. Sure.
I don't know if the Kardashians coming around was a good thing or not, but
Yeah, that's true.
definitely we're
Damn
pioneers
you, Ozzy.
reality TV genre.
Yeah, yeah. And I think recently, past couple weeks, he had like this his final concert, right? His like
Yeah.
tribute concert, or was it in his hometown of Birmingham, England? And it was like a festival, so all these heavy metal people came back, and both a tribute to him and honor him, and also to say farewell. And thinking back on it now, and especially when he performed, I think it was a Crazy Train, right? Mama Coming Home, and it kind of hits differently.
Yeah.
Right, knowing that he's passed now, and maybe he knew he was reaching that point in his life where it was time to say goodbye.
Yeah. Definitely think he did, and it was really a fitting ending to his life. I think to end in on that note, which was kind of I mean, in a sad way, but a good way to kind of say your last goodbyes, if you will.
Yeah, and I'm glad he had that moment to do that, to go out on his own terms, doing what he loved, his passion, which was music. And so, Ozzy, thank you for all the memories, both on stage and on screen. And yeah, also, another passing, which for us Gen Xers, before Bill Cosby, rang the Cosby Show through the mud, we had Theo, right? Malcolm-Jamal Warner, which is another tragic loss and the circumstances. I think we texted about this when I first heard about it, was that he had drowned, and that was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you don't hear a lot about people drowning nowadays. Like mostly it's children,
Right.
but the ocean is no joke. Like I
Yeah.
think people underestimate when they think that they're a good swimmer in the pool, that they know how to swim, but you get some currents or the ocean fights against you, and it's no joke.
No, it
It,
isn't. Yeah, you're right.
um,
I read he was in Costa Rica and the Caribbean side for and a place known to have these strong rip currents. Now, I've been caught in a rip current before, and it's kind of scary.
yeah,
And that was just in La Jolla, and it was, and I was able to get out of it, swimming horizontal to the shore and stuff. But I can just imagine that feeling, of not being able. You're swimming as hard as you can, but you're not moving anywhere. So,
right.
so rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner as well. And it makes me wonder, how celebrities they tend to always pass in threes, right? So, do you think there are any celebrities out there walking around looking over their shoulder? Make is it me? Am I next?
The Rolling Stones, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Especially the elderly statesmen who've been around for a while and they're like, "Oh, is it my turn next?" I mean, I don't mean to belittle death or passing, but at the same time, you have to look at it that way, right?
Yeah. Well, and so many of the icons that we looked up to growing up are getting up there in age. I
Yeah.
mean, I joke about the Rolling Stones, but they're pretty up there. So unfortunately, it's a sad, time when you see a lot of the icons, whether it be in music, television, or movies, get to a certain age where they start to pass is kind of sad.
Yeah. It is, and there's unfortunately, that's just life, I guess. Two things are inevitable in this lifetime: death and taxes, right? So there's also another inevitable, if you will, give allow me to kind of like morph this in, is that James Gunn will have a good movie. And
Yeah.
Superman was just released, and I hear tell that you watched it already. Lucky, how was it?
I saw it and I loved it. It was really great. The new actor that portrays Superman did an excellent job. Great Lois Lane. All the actors were really good. I should say that. The action was good. The plot was decent. Nothing, genre breaking or breaking of the mold, but it was a fun movie to watch for sure. It was
Mhm.
definitely good. I enjoyed my time watching it.
Cool. I mean, I know Henry Cavill, is he still your favorite Superman though after seeing this one?
Yeah, he's still my favorite Superman. That's not
Fine.
going to change, the new guy did a decent job for sure.
No, the Lois Lane, that's by what's her name? Rachel Brosnahan, right?
Yeah, from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, yes, I'm a big fan of her. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. The trailers I've seen, everything gives me the feeling of more going back to like the original Superman movie with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah,
I hope it plays out that way.
yeah, it has a very similar vibe for sure.
Cool. Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. I know another inevitable thing is yearly Comic Con rolls through San Diego, and it's happening this week. Any plans to attend?
I'm going to be going to like the free events that are
Okay.
surrounding the convention center. I didn't get a ticket, so I'm not one of the golden ticket holders that will be participating in the Comic Con, but I'll be out and about, kind of checking things out.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you remember the first time you ever went to Comic Con?
I do remember it. It was really fun. It was really eye opening because it was just so many people. I was
Okay.
shocked by how many people there were. Like we couldn't
What
get
year
into.
roughly was that, would you say?
Yikes! I don't remember. Maybe like 15 years ago. Maybe.
Okay, so it had already blossomed into kind of what it is today, right? With full spectacle of movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, there were big stars, in attendance and getting into. I think it was Hall H, which had like the big
Hmm.
blockbuster actors. Was like impossible to get into.
Yeah, I remember my first time was like in 1997 or something like that.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't as huge as it is today. It did have, the big actors like you said in Hall H and stuff, but it wasn't like the spectacle. I use that word again because that's what it is to me, at least.
Yeah.
It was more like WonderCon was is now. It was back in the day. And I remember a group of our friends who are artists. They went on to be comic book artists. They we created like this fake production media company, right? And we got somehow ended up getting press passes because
Oh
of that.
wow.
So we this was before, it was really serious to get press passes. And it was like, was it press passes or vendor passes? Anyway, we got into the press day, so which is like the day before all the exhibits open to the public, and
Yeah.
we got to go experience all that was out there and get all the free swag that I guess they withhold for vendors and press people and stuff like that. So that was really fun, and I remember I met an author there who turned out to be one of my favorite authors going forward from that moment. His name is David Gemmell. He's a fantasy writer, and it was just so cool. That was like, if I could go back in time and experience that for the first time again, I would love to just take that all in a little more than I think I did then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Comic Con to me has grown to be such a huge thing that it's somewhat not pleasurable attending because there's so many people
I hear
uh,
you.
that I appreciate like WonderCon or like other cons that are gaining in popularity because it's again back to like what it was meant to be.
Right.
Not to take away from all the grandeur of Comic Con and all this stuff, but it's still fun. Don't get me wrong. But I my favorite thing is like meeting the artist, talking to like new artists that I am fans of, getting work of theirs. You can definitely do that on a smaller scale
Yeah.
than at Comic Con, but it's still fun. I mean, I wish I had tickets.
If I had tickets, I'd still go. It
Like
makes me
it's
wonder if they could rename it, would they? I mean, because it's more than just Comic Con now, right? So it's like,
yeah.
what would they call it? Like Entertainment Con, Pop Culture Con. I mean, it's just grown above comics, but
Yeah.
they're still there, and that's what majority of the people, at least I hope, go for. So,
Yeah, so I think we'll be going on Friday just to check out like all the people in cosplay, and there are some events that are free for like people who are non-badge holders.
mhm.
So checking that stuff out.
Very cool, very cool. I remember they had this was back before cosplay was even that huge. They had like a judging type thing. So people would go on stage with their cosplays and they'd get awards for the best one and stuff. I don't know if they still do that, but that was a
Yeah,
lot of fun because I remember my friends' family and sisters, they all got really into, making these anime cosplays and they won like second prize, I think. That was really cool.
oh, nice. Yeah,
So,
I've never done cosplay. Have you ever dressed up as a character? Actually, I take that back. Maybe I have. I have, but for
okay.
Halloween, yeah,
Well, that's different. That's different, I
it's
think.
not necessarily like cosplay as in like a superhero or like a character from a film.
Mhm.
I did this up as one of the guys from a Clockwork Orange, so I don't know if that would count.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it was for Halloween, so I think
But
that's
it was for
different
Halloween.
than cosplay.
Yeah,
Cosplay is year round, right? And I
yeah,
think if you're doing it year round, that's where it's cosplay as opposed to dressing up for Halloween on Halloween.
yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't count because of that, or maybe it does. Who knows?
yeah.
But it got me thinking. If you could experience other things for the first time again, like what would you want to experience for the first time, like first time seeing a movie or reading a book or watching a show or listening to a music album, what sort of things would you like to experience again for the very first time?
Huh. It would have to be a live musical act
Ooh,
that
okay.
I would want to re-see for like the first time, and it would probably be Lady Gaga. I'm
Hmm.
about to see her on August 2nd for the Mayhem Ball, so I'm
Nice. Oh,
excited to see her again. But that first time was just like amazing. Like she's such a great entertainer to like be able to experience it for like the seeing her for the first time,
hmm.
and just reliving that would be amazing.
Well, you could
What
just
about?
give me your ticket, and that'll be my first time seeing her, and then you can just live that through me.
Yeah, she opened her tour in Las Vegas,
Right,
actually.
right, right. I saw that. I was like, oh, I probably couldn't afford those tickets anyways. But I mean, I think for me, I was thinking about this earlier today, which is why I brought it up
Yeah.
conveniently, is that I think if I could experience watching the film The Matrix again for the very first time, I would love that.
Yeah.
Because that film was at its time when it came out in 1999, it was just, was it 99 or 2000? One of the two.
Yeah.
It was just so different, right? It was like it started off this whole world building, this whole simulation theory thing that we're living in, and it's just I walked out of that theater. I remember we saw it in the theater in TJ. For whatever reason,
Oh,
that's where I saw it. Yeah, we were down there, and I walked out, and I was like, "Wow, I know kung fu now, and I can do all these moves and stuff." And it was just so, it was just such a feeling, and that feeling that you get when you watch a film that really moves you is just something I wish we could like can up and like open drink when we want that, euphoria type of thing.
yeah. That's a really good choice. I mean, I remember seeing The Matrix for the first time, and it was such a new kind of genre of film.
Mhm.
Like they did things in like the slow motion with the
Yeah,
bullets,
yeah.
like that we had never seen before, and leaving and just being like, oh wow, that was an experience.
Hmm.
That was, so yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Matrix would be a really cool thing to re-experience because now when you see it, it's like you know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it's not the same as like seeing it for the very first time and like, oh my God, that was so cool. Like, how did they
Hmm.
do that? So yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah. It's you're right with the steady camera, the slow motion camera that they had like the all the cameras all around them and stuff. That was just so it was just amazing. Yeah. See, now I'm getting like I want to watch it again, but it'll be different. But still, I want to watch it again.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the same, unfortunately, but I would agree that I have to go back and watch it because it's been a few years since I've watched it.
How about any books to reread them for the first time? Was there anything that stands out to you?
The only book that I think that have reread multiple times is On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite book. Um, I love rereading it. I get something new from it every time I read it, and it's just such a great book. I'm trying to think of any other books that I've wanted to reread, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I've read it a handful of times, and such a great book.
I need to read that for the first time.
Yeah, yeah, I highly recommend it. It's super
Okay.
good.
Yeah, it's I remember reading this book gets a lot of grief from people in pop culture just because they say it's too popcorny. But Ready Player One, for me, the
Okay.
first time I read that book, it's kind of like The Matrix. It just kind of blew my mind. It was like, this Ernest Cline, the author, he takes all these 80s pop culture references, smashes them together in this simulated world. Maybe I just like simulated worlds.
You're trying to escape reality.
There you go. Maybe that's what it is. I just like stories that get me out of reality. And it was just so amazing. I read that yearly. So it's one of the books that I reread. Um, I make a point to reread it. Not because I take anything away new from it, but because I just enjoy escaping into that world.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I haven't read it. I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the book.
Yeah, it's the book's a little different. I recommend it. Yeah, give it a shot. There's part two of it, and there's another book he wrote called Armada, which is really good, and I think would make a good film. And maybe they'll do it one day. Steven Spielberg, you listening? Go make it.
Nice.
Oh man. Um, any music that I would like to hear again for the very first time? I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything that like really just kind of blew my mind when I listened to it for the first time. Um, Not to be cliche, but like maybe Pink Floyd, where it was just like different. Like
Why is that cliche?
I don't know, just because like stoners and but it definitely was like something that like just changed the way I listen to music. Things that were like the instrumentals were just different for me than the kind of pop music that I was listening to.
Hmm.
So I would maybe say that.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, For me, I grew up with my parents, listening to the Beatles, Rolling Stones, stuff like that. So it was nothing really outlandish. But when I think I heard the Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails,
Yeah.
and that really, wow, what is this I'm listening to? And I think especially then you add in like the videos for like Closer and stuff like that. It's like I think I wish I could experience that one again.
Yeah. That's a good one. Have you heard their new song for the new Tron movie?
I'm looking at it right here. I have not listened to it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So
can't wait for the full album to come out.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Um, Trent Reznor, if you're listening, I got some questions for you for my new digital zine. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. Oh,
Might be just a little difficult to get a hold of.
yeah, just a little bit. I mean, I tried reaching out to him when I was getting my tattoo for the Crow soundtrack based on one of his songs, but just to make sure I got the lyrics fine. But I'll try again.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of projects, any you want to promote maybe like your Patreon? Is that how you say it?
yeah, I have a Patreon.
Patreon. That's it.
John. It's Sotomayor Photo, just like my website, and it's just a lot of like tips, stories about me taking pictures from different photo shoots, sort of what my experience as a photographer is, and yeah, I just give some advice to how to take better pictures for people that are photographers or looking to explore photography, and mostly just share stories about like the stories behind the images, and a lot of like B-roll, so like images that I haven't
Okay.
shared on Instagram or anywhere else. So yeah, I definitely recommend anyone that would like to support my work to check it out. Sotomayor Photo on
Do you
Patreon.
do any Q&A with like subscribers and stuff?
I am planning on doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to join and then has some good questions, I have some A's for them.
You have some A's for their Q's. Very cool. Do you offer different levels of I'm not sure how Patreon works. Like you
Yeah,
have
there are
like different
different
tiers.
tiers. Right now, I only have one tier. It's $5 to join, and that gives you access to everything.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to keep it simple. I'm not trying to be a millionaire off of this. I just wanted to share my work in a different way and share, my stories and welcome people to listen to it that are willing to listen to what I have to say.
Very cool. Very cool. Make sure you're out there. Go Sotomayor Photo on Patreon. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can find it easier. Um, Last thing I wanted to end with for this episode, and if you haven't been living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard of this. And so the funniest meme I saw for this, I'm talking about, and you'll figure out soon enough, is that Coldplay hasn't had a single in years, but a couple nights ago they created two.
Yeah,
Any takes on that?
yeah. Um, it's hilarious. Like I just think like it's just I mean, like it's like a 1 in a billion type chance that would occur, right? Like who would
Mhm.
ever think that while you're out cheating on your spouse that you would be put on camera at a Coldplay concert and be called out on it? Like
And be
that just
filmed by some random person just filming it. Yeah.
yeah. And it becomes such a sensation and like an event online. Um, it's I mean it's sad when you after you think about it because potentially I guess two marriages or at least one marriage is potentially being destroyed or ending over this. I don't know what the end result of this is for the marriages, but just kind of I mean it's a scandal really. It's um
Yeah, it
it,
is. It is. It is. I find it hilarious. I mean, and I think about only it's hilarious because I think that to get for the CEO, the guy, I don't know, Young, or I think his last name is whatever, to get to that point where he feels the need to do that, right? So, this was just a tip of the iceberg for him, right? So there had to be more to this story, and of course, we're just getting the video feed of it. We don't know everything else. And then now to have his whole life basically upended. But maybe it's one of those things where it's like not self-fulfilling prophecy. What's the other one? Where it's just like he self-sabotaged in a way. Maybe he wanted something to happen, and this was his way of propelling it forward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Maybe this was the thing that needed to happen in order for his marriage to get divorced, and they'll be better off in the long run.
Exactly. So we'll silver lining it and call it a night there.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that's all we have for this week. I just want to give a shout out to Stephen Colbert
yeah,
because he's just getting dumped by CBS and stuff, which is stupid. And I think I love his response. I'm not sure if you saw it when he responded to the president
yeah,
about his tweet or whatever he said, and I think that was hilarious. So
yeah,
props out to Stephen Colbert for keeping it real.
yeah. We share his sentiments here at
Yes,
Pop Cult X.
absolutely. So everyone out there, thanks for subscribing. Let us know in the comments what you'd want to experience for the first time. I'm curious to hear what you guys would like to see, watch, hear, experience for the very first time again.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks everyone. See you next time.
Safe.